The self-help I think the self-help genre is actually a complete utter waste of time, and that's coming from someone who's literally read just about every single self-help book. I used to listen to every single self-help podcast, and then I started a business. And now I realize that they are completely useless because what is the fundamental basic things that they're telling you to do? Most of the time it's having good habits. And that is important. Replace your shit habits with good habits. That is pretty much all they talk about. Take cold showers, get up early, make your bed, eat better, work out. And if you do those things, the things that you already know you're supposed to do, your life is going to get progressively better from the shithole that it is now. Great. What do you do after that? How is that going to solve the problem that rent is due at the end of the month? It doesn't. Because doing those things has no correlation to how much money you make. What has correlation to how much money you make? By learning new things that help you and increase your earning potential. What does that have to do with the self help genre? And why is it a multi billion-dollar industry? Why? Because there's no way to value if somebody got help or not. Do you feel short term motivation after watching those videos? Yes, I used to. And that's what I used to do. When anytime I was feeling down, I would watch one of those motivational videos or I'd read one of those books. And then you'd feel really motivated to do what? To do those good habits. And guess what? Those habits do make you feel better. But if you're someone like me, where my main objective is to grow a business so I can make more money because I am a stupid, greedy capitalist, then that does not help me. If all you want to do is feel good, which first off, I don't think that's a good use of your time. What does feeling good do? It's kind of like people who have achieved nothing in life, and the way that they get around that is to take drugs to feel good. Because usually, for myself personally, I can't speak for anyone else, I feel good after I accomplish a hard task. Struggle, effort plus struggle, then getting the goal equals achievement and that happy, sensational feeling. What do people do instead? They try and get around that by taking drugs. Great. That's a great fucking use of your time, buddy. You drink, you watch out, you drink, you do drugs, watch porn, Netflix. These are things that will give you that same sort of satisfaction, but it's artificial and it leaves you empty inside because you didn't do the things that you need to deserve that feeling. So then, what is a more realistic motivational video in the business aspect? If your life sucks and you're overweight, even if you make $1 million, your life will suck just as bad. Because if you don't have your physical health right, your mental health right, money will mean nothing. Money is just a tool to maximize your freedom potential. And that is why I want it. I want maximum freedom. I don't care anything about money. If I could have 100% maximum freedom to do what I want when I wanted to, then I would not care about money. But you need that as a tool to facilitate your other goals. Those other goals would be useless if you are not in shape. If you do not care about your mental capacity and your mental health. Those are just given. And everybody knows that. At least deep down, you understand it from a base point level. So then what would be a more reasonable video to watch? It sucks because you know what it says? It says work 15 hours a day acquiring a skill. And then some people would say, well, what fucking skill do you want me to acquire, Josh? First off, you probably have no interest if that's the case. Then maybe dial it down to what you are not interested in. Well, I don't want to do X, Y, and Z, but maybe I want to try V. So try that for 100 hours, learning every single thing that you can, taking as many notes on it, and then trying to in practice in some practical way. If you do that for a legit 100 hours and you have zero progress, then please come back to me. Or maybe your progress is realizing that you absolutely hate that. I've tried hundreds of things. Well, not hundreds, More like maybe a dozen things that I probably gave 5, 10 hours into, and I hated it. And I realized I do not want to make a life out of this, a career. It would not be worth it for me. And I scratched it. I failed in many different businesses until I found something that I really liked. And then I doubled, tripled, and then a 100,000x down on it, where now that's all I think about 15 hours a day. And now I'm hyper obsessed with it. But I didn't become hyper obsessed until I put in at least 200 hours into it because you don't even know what you don't know. And I still know the bare minimum that is needed to make a decent career out of it. So what's going to take me to the next level? It is going to be acquiring additional skills and maximizing everything that I'm already doing by putting in another 2,000 hours. That is sadly what it's going to take. And that sucks. Because that means that there is not a quick solution. Because everyone is looking for a quick solution. And I know that because that's exactly what I did. All I did was watch these self help videos because I wanted a quick solution to my problems that were rooted much deeper than any sort of quick fix would ever cure. Because it fucking takes a lot of time to do anything worthwhile. It just sadly does. But if you put in 1,000 hours into something, guess what? You still may suck at it, but you will at least suck less than when you started it. At least that's my thought process recently. Maybe I will become like every other YouTuber on the face of the earth, and I will sell a course for $1,000. And if you take that course, all your problems will be magically solved and you will be rich. That is sarcasm because that's what every single person does. That is pathetic. But guess what? Maybe if you're looking into if you already have a decent understanding of something and you buy one of those courses that is hyper specialized and hyper niche down to learn a very specific part of a subject, then guess what? You are going to learn and make a lot of money from that. Just for reference, that's what I bought or I paid for like a $5,000 event. And from that event, the next month I made $20,000 because I applied the practical skills that I learned while I was there talking to the people and doing a variety of other things and listening to where it doubled my income literally over a month. So there are quick fixes, but those quick tweaks that you take, those are not things that you do when you're starting out because you don't have any foundation. And that's what you have to build. If you want to build one of those New York skyscrapers that you see, you are not going to do it on those quick uh, dopamine rushes that you get from taking a cold shower or what those self-help books say. You need a incredible foundation that is going to hold up such a sturdy business. And you don't learn some magical quick information that you get and then apply it to a business that you don't have with skills that you have not learned to then do what with it? And I get it. A lot of people work a full time job because they haven't been able to escape the rat race. If that's the case, you got to work a lot fucking harder. That's the only solution. When you get home from work, you can't kick back, jerk off, watch Netflix, drink a beer, and eat pizza. Guess what? I know that's what you want to do. And I know that a lot of people do that. But what does that get you? Oh, not everybody wants to live the kind of lifestyle that I want to. So it just comes down to what do you want? I just want to accomplish things that I know the only way I will get there is if I put in such immensible amounts of effort. And that's what I'm trying to do. My views might develop over the next 1,000 days. I know I'm only on day 19 of 1,000 right now. And if they do, I will be the first to admit that I was wrong because my views develop so quickly because I'm exposed to so many different perspectives. And if somebody is right, I think that is if I can rationalize what they are saying, then my viewpoint will most likely develop because I'm saying this from a very naive standpoint where I don't have a lot else to go based off of. So I actually used to think that it doesn't matter how hard you worked because I used to have a lot of employees that did everything for me. But now I'm trying to do a lot myself in a different aspect. And eventually, I like to hire people to do what I'm doing, but I have to master it to such a high degree first. Because I used to say it doesn't matter how hard you work, it matters how much you get done. And I still agree with that. I'm just saying for someone starting out, because I'd love to be running a $10 million a year business yet working 2 hours a week. As of right now, I'm not good enough. That is not realistic. So this is what I have to do. A lot of people are a lot smarter than me, and they can probably figure out how to make that work for them. And if you do, please teach me. I'd love to know. Motivational videos suck. Motivational books are even worse. I've read them all. They're not worth it. Just have good habits and do the things that you know you're supposed